I am here to collect my $3,000. My last 2 weeks of employment at the daycare, she did not pay me, and I'm here to collect that.
Okay. So this woman owns a daycare facility that you worked for?
Correct.
Okay. And how long did you work there, sir?
I was there approximately 2 months.
Okay. So you did get paid up until the last 2 weeks.
Correct.
And then she withheld those funds?
Yes.
Okay. Why would she do a thing like that, sir?
Because she has insinuated that I have stolen a couple of items off the premises at the daycare.
What is she saying that you stole, sir?
A drivable toy car and a watch.
Okay, interesting. So give me a little bit about your background, Mr. Kingston. You work with children your entire career? Or?
Yes, I have a degree in childhood development, and I love teaching.
So how was it in the beginning, sir?
You know what? We had a pretty good relationship, but it took a turn very quickly. I noticed that she wasn't quite fond of males. I'm the only male teacher there.
You know what? I'm just gonna go out there and say it right now. This guy has a very kind face and energy. I already believe him, and we just started. I don't know what it is. I trust him. I would trust him.
The very first thing that I heard out of her mouth, it's very unusual for a man to work with kids.
What did you think she was implying by that, sir?
You know what? My mind went in a lot of different directions, and it put me in an uncomfortable situation.
And did she hire you?
She did.
Okay, okay. That's crazy though, right? And I will get to hear your side in a minute, Ms. Davis, but under, the premise of what you're laying out for us, it would be very inconsistent for somebody to hire someone who clearly presents as a man to work with children at her daycare facility and then condemn that very hire for being a man.
Correct.
Okay. So this kind of continues. You're uncomfortable. You find it to be hostile.
Yes.
And at some point you turn in your notice?
I did.
Okay.
Gave her my resignation, basically saying the straw that broke the camel's back. Again, hey, I know you stole these items. I know that it was you. You were the only one around. Without having clear proof, there's no way that I'm going to work under those conditions. Here's my resignation. I'm out of here.
Okay. And how did she take that?
Not well.
Not well. Okay. And is that why she withheld those last 2 weeks of funds for you?
Amongst other things, yes.
Okay. All right. Ms. Davis, he lays out a searing case against you. What do you have to say for yourself, ma'am?
As far as I'm concerned, he was the only one at the time of the crime in the place of the crime.
Okay, I'm sorry. And she looks evil. Just look at her. She looks evil. But you know what, guys? Let's not judge a book by its cover. You really never know unless the evidence, shows otherwise. Let's just hear her out.
You're saying it was a crime of opportunity and he's the only one that had the opportunity?
Yes, and the only reason is because we have some footage.
So why don't you go ahead and present your evidence to my bailiff, ma'am? Any evidence that you have?
Oh, I have.
So that I can evaluate.
Oh, certainly.
Yes, please. Thank you, ma'am. And you're saying that Mr. Kingston here owes you this because you're just convinced that he must have been the one to have stole both these items?
I can't imagine who else. There's no evidence of anybody else being in the vicinity at the time.
Okay. Okay, so now I'm looking right at Mr. Kingston's resignation. Ms. Davis, I'm writing to formally announce my immediate, hence no other notice, resignation, effective immediately. Thank you for the opportunity. Okay, so this is actually pretty standard. This is just a standard letter of resignation.
Yes.
So you didn't really get into your gripes.
I did not, Your Honor.
Okay.
Because
why is that?
There's no talking to the devil.
Ooh. No talking to the devil.
Oh, she does look like the devil. And who's to say that one of the kids didn't take it accidentally or misplace it or bury it in the yard? There's so many things that could have happened. I guess we're going to find out.
Miss Davis, are you the devil?
I don't believe so. We got along fine until this happened.
Is it true, as he tells the court, though, Miss Davis, that you felt that he was particularly unqualified to be a good teacher and work with small children because he's a man? Is that true? Is there some truth to that?
I may have said something to the girls, but at this point,
When you say the girls, you mean the other teachers?
The other ladies, correct. They're all ladies. The rest of the
So
teachers.
why'd you hire him if you feel a way towards male teachers?
Oh, no. I have no problem if they're qualified.
And why are you implying in my courtroom that this man is not qualified?
Only because he was seen on that footage and it's become a mystery ever since.
Okay. Let's look at this footage. I do know that the defense has submitted this footage, video evidence.
Yeah, there he is.
I know that ain't it. Miss Davis, what did you want me to make of this?
That he was in the place.
That he was at work? That he was at work?
That's right where it was. That he was in that camera.
So that he was in a classroom?
Yeah, where the
where
car took off and the watch took off. That's footage of that.
Mr. Kingston, yes?
When you're looking for a problem, you're going to find it. In regards to that footage, I was actually decorating the classroom, putting up new things for the kids.
Well, here's the thing, Ms. Davis. That footage at its best is limited. All I can really tell from that is that it was Mr. Kingston, but all I can tell is that he's on your premises, which he should be because he works there.
Your Honor, he had no explanation of why he was there at that particular moment when those two items disappeared.
Okay. According to Ms. Davis, Mr. Kingston, you sitting on a drivable toy Range Rover somewhere at your garage. Is that true?
Listen.
You balling in the streets with the kids?
In the streets.
Yeah.
I drove it all the way home.
Yeah.
405.
Yeah. He took a children's toy. Like, why would he take that? That just tells me that there is a kid that found the watch, thought it was cool, maybe thought it was a toy, didn't know how valuable it was, took the watch, and maybe took the car because they thought that they could. Like, kids do silly things like that all the time. Like, this is just all being blown out of proportion. Do you think that this lady might be a little bit on the R-word side? You know what I mean? Maybe she's a little discriminatory. I don't know. Maybe. What do you guys think?
Actually.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, let's get the investigation going a little further. We have asked that Mr. Kingston here submit to a polygraph to the court. And while it's not controlling, it can be compelling. So let's go ahead and see the results of this, Mr. Kingston. I don't want to be clear with the court that neither the defendant nor the plaintiff have seen these results at this point. We will all be finding out the truth together. Okay? Okay. Is your name Bradford Kingston? The answer is yes. The test determined that is truthful. Did you take the missing car a la Range Rover from We Shine Bright Daycare? Mr. Kingston said no. The lie detector determined he's being truthful, ma'am.
I told you.
Did you steal the men's designer watch from the daycare? Mr. Kingston says no. Lie detector determines he's telling the truth, ma'am. I'm looking right at it. So listen, I do think at this point if you are not the devil, you owe this man an apology.
I cannot apologize till I know what the answer is.
Wow.
Who stole the car? He could have put it in something and got it out of there. And who stole the watch? These items are very...
Ms. Davis, the court has heard its final word from you. You can remain silent the rest of this hearing. Mr. Kingston, I'm going to let you have the final word here because I think you've earned it, and then I'm going to go ahead and make my ruling.
Thank you, Your Honor. Never work for people like this. Make sure you do research, your background, before you step into any type of situations like this. I have gone through so much behind this, and the lie detector just told you everything. And I'm a little emotional right now because how dare you accuse me of stealing anything? You should be ashamed of yourself.
Well, what the court finds deeply troubling, Ms. Davis, is not only your haste in accusing this man of something so egregious, but your willful ignorance and denial of a truth that's being presented to you by an objective and reasonable party today via this court, which tells me that you don't believe it because you don't want to believe it. You've already identified that this man is of poor character. You've already stereotyped this man. And I keep saying that, man, because you have a certain disrespect and disregard for men in the childcare space. And as such, what you need to do with that prejudice, because that's what that is, you have a prejudice against men working in childcare. And therefore, as a daycare owner, you should not be inviting men to work for you and then exposing them to the type of discrimination and hostility that is clear that this man has endured. Mr. Kingston, this is what I'm going to do for you. You worked those final 2 weeks. While I do recognize in standard employment practice, we like to give a 2-week notice. You were responding to severe hostility from your employer. Thus, your lack of notice is excused. You will be totally awarded your $3,000 that you have asked the court for because you worked those 2 weeks and you earned it. As for your countersuit, Ms. Davis, it is with great pleasure that I dismiss it entirely because you have shown the court zero evidence. And I know you don't think that little flimsy, thin tape was supposed to sway me in any way. The court rules in favor of the plaintiff's claim for $3,000 and the defendant's counterclaim is dismissed in its entirety to my satisfaction. That's my ruling.
All rise.
You know, I have a feeling that if she did, you know, I have a feeling that if she showed the entire clip, more of that clip, it would show that he was decorating the room. That's why it was so short. She was just trying to stick it on him, stick the crime on the man working at the daycare center. She is fully prejudiced. What do you guys think about the judgment? Do you think it was too much, too little, or just right? I would love to know your thoughts. And what do you think about my theory that it was a kid that just happened to take these things? Let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear it. Love ya.